Okay, so on the left here we have Mono Purple from Fry, and Alhazard playing a deck after my own heart, Necro, Blood, X. In this case, he's playing Truth. So the goal of this deck should be pretty obvious from the get-go. You're playing the black starters, so your job is to build Graveyard and to play Crash Barrows. And then those Crash Barrows die, and then they come out of the graveyard, and then they go to the discard. And then Garth pulls them out of the discard pile, and then they die, and then they go to the graveyard, and then Quince makes a mirror of one, and you just basically chain Crash Barrows for days. It's fun, it's fast, it's really, really strong for killing tech buildings. I'll show you the card in question. It's a Blood Tech 2 card. What's up? Am I giving things away? Yeah, haste ephemeral with overpower. Yeah, I got it on screen too. But yeah, it's a 6/2, and so it will die at the end of the turn, yes. But his plan is to just overwhelm your board. And which is kind of funny, when we played in Pasadena, this was close to the match that I had with Alhazard, the best of 5 that we played, where Alhazard was playing Mono Purple, and I was playing Necromancy Blood Feral. And the Feral version that I used was using Centaurs to block for me in the early game, but maybe it was a little bit too slow. So I know Alhazard is a better player than me, so we'll see if he can run the strategy a lot stronger. This is actually 2 2-0 players right now, so Mono Purple doing pretty well in this tournament so far. And we'll see how the Truth aspect plays into this deck strategy. Yep, 12:15 tournament start, 50 minutes on the clock. Let's do this. Turn 1, Pestering Haunt. It's going to be a good card to play when you have... Yeah, it's going to be what? This is actually one of my favorite openings. With 4 gold, you play Garth with a Pestering Haunt. So that's 2 gold, 1 skeleton for 3 gold, and 4th gold is the worker. So 2 1-drops and a hero on turn 1. Time for Chipotle orders. Thanks again to Kimika for all the crazy food orders and dealing with all of us. And making sure that we're all healthy and fed, which is it's a dangerous prospect, being at a con all weekend and finding ways to feed yourself so you don't die. That's like tournament like skills. I'm sure that's in like Serlin's playing to win somewhere, is like staying hydrated and things. Probably like a whole chapter on this. Okay, so purple opening. Opening as player 2 is pretty cool for purple because they have no 1-drop. So this means that they're able to play their big 2-cost guys without having to go skimp on making a hero. So Fading Argonaut, one of the best early game blockers in the game because it's got a Fading 3, which is it's got 3-time runes when it comes into play. You remove 1 each upkeep. When you remove the last one, you sacrifice it. But because it's the first unit you play, it's probably just going to die before the Fading actually matters. So it's getting like just crazy value without a real drawback. It's like if the game stalls out, then it will be, but we'll see. And then he starts out with Veer as his main hero. You thought it was Prin, didn't you? Yeah, no time runes on that. That's how I know it's Veer. So Veer has an ability where you can look at the top card of his draw pile for free, and you can also exchange the top card of your draw pile with a card from your hand. Why is this important? Well, the way that the card economy of Codex works makes it important, because if you're spending cards from your hand, like you build a worker every turn and then you play a guy, that's your 3 cards and you're going to discard 3 and draw 5. But what if you wanted to play another card from your hand? What if you needed to play 2 of the cards in your hand and make a worker? Well, what you can do is you can if you have the mid-band on Veer set, right, level 5, that says play the top card of your draw pile. So you can swap a card from your hand to the top of your draw pile, then exhaust Veer, play that card, pay its costs and everything, and you still end the turn with a 3-card hand, meaning you still draw 5, but you got to play the 2 cards you wanted and still make it worker. It's very complex, but when you play a lot of purple, that whole situation makes sense. All right, so Alhazard has gold. He's going to drop a Javelineer. So Javelin Rune down, Skeleton number 2. So using Garth to wall up is a pretty decent strategy. So the Pestering Haunt is unstoppable. Can just totally ignore Patrol Zone. Luckily, it has a rule that it can't be sacrificed and can't have more than 1 attack. This is so you can't use it in conjunction with things like Doom Grasp or any other like Sack the Weak type stuff and make it a very, very cheap single card investment. And then the big deal with that too is that if you could sacrifice it, then Graveyard becomes really, really high value where you're not really paying a sack cost. Pestering Haunt goes to Graveyard, you exhaust Graveyard, and then bring it back into play. And so we'll look at Graveyard right now because that's kind of one of the keys to the strategy that we're going to see. So this is whenever a non-token unit dies, you bury it here, sacrifice Graveyard and 4 or more are buried in it, and discard the units. You can exhaust it to play a buried unit. It's very powerful with hasted creatures, and black doesn't have any. So when you multi with something like Blood, you gain access to a bunch of hasted units that are very, very strong, and are like Suicide All-In type units. An older version of Graveyard used to trash the cards that were in the Graveyard, but now they just get discarded, and with Garth's Max Band being able to retrieve cards from the discard pile, it's not necessarily a drawback that they go there. Not all the time. I'm actually happy that we have 16 people playing. Just because of makes the Swiss really, really clean. You have just 8 matches going simultaneously. It's not bad. Quick view of the room here. Got a whole lineup of dudes playing. So over here we have LK404 and Ball. Here we got Sharp Object versus Gabisi. It's going to get more faded as we go out, but we got Jason Walkie and Zom on the right there. Nidoking Flak Maniac, you can see the hair at this range. Sotek and Aphotic Spray in the back. Kuminka on cam way there, you know, compiling the Chipotle orders. And in front of her, Mystic Juicer and Tom from Canada. And then over here is, on the side, Volty and Shax on the right. And Tello watching. Hi. Yeah. Tello's not playing in this tournament, but I think is he becoming a fan slowly? He likes to watch the meta develop. All right, so no crafts. So no craft is a dangerous card for purple. It's a 2/2 flying haste. Sorry, yeah. 2 costs. 2 costs, 1/1, flying haste. Yeah, my bad. I have the card right in front of me. It's early. I need my second cup of coffee. But it makes it hard to play 1-drops at all against purple. Just because most of them have 1 HP. And then it also drops a Neoplexus, which is a really vanilla card. One of the mainstays of purple starting deck, and one of the main reasons to use it is this card that has been lots of multicoloring using battle suits to buff like peace and anarchy guys and whatnot. Alright guys, we're at the 20-minute mark, 30 minutes to go. Also, Kasumi says hi from Japan and wants... Hi Kasumi, everyone yell!
Hi Kasumi! Hi
Yeah.
Kasumi!
She is glad to see everyone fine and happy. Geiger says hi. Here, put him to the camera. Geiger says hi. Geiger, friend of Kasumi. Much to learn from the land of the rising sun. So yeah, on the board, Neoplexus, no, Neoplexus is blocking, but Veer and Fading Argonaut take out the Javelineer and the squad lead skeleton, as Nullcraft pings out the Pestering Haunts. She says hello. And Lettuce Mode says those are some sick red pants that Tello has on. Tello, red pants game on point. Double Bone Collector. This card is a tempo machine. So the main reason I built this deck in the first place, or the variant of it that I use with Feral, was that I thought that playing mono red felt really hard because I never had blockers. I was like, yeah, I like this aggro strat. I like to attack with all my guys, but after I'm done attacking, I don't have anything to block for me, and I lose my tech buildings or my heroes, and things go bad. But I was like, well, Bone Collector, right? He summons blockers when he swings. And that's incredible. So, what if I put Necro in there? And then I started to see the synergies between using things like Behind the Ferns with the mid-band of Drac to get a bunch of 2/2 skeletons that are all stealthed. And that was kind of the dream of the deck, but then it started to see other synergies that it worked with. But yeah, Bone Collector, though, was one of the best, maybe even the best tech one in the game. It's hard to say. But yeah, summoning a 1/1 black skeleton token when you swing with it is very, very powerful. And also one thing that this deck can do, if you do have the max band Drac out, which I don't know if Alhazard really uses Drac, I think it's more so just to gain access to Blood Tech 2. But the max band where you gain haste is really cool because you can drop a unit and throw it down. And you drop the Bone Collector down with haste, it swings for 4, you gain a skeleton. Very, very powerful stuff. Hello, Keith Bergen. How are you today? Yeah, he's on... Yeah, Keith Bergen watching on Twitch. Alright, so I'll watch. Yeah, you're cool. No rules damage for Fry. I'll watch. Guardian Judge. So, Squad Lead Bone Collector, 3/4, 3/3 Technician Bone Collector. What's that shiny card? That's Garth himself. Okay. You sleeved people, making my streams look like ass. Just glare, yeah, it's just crazy. That Garth is as white as the card back. That's Garth, yeah, that's Garth. It's and then the Bone Collector, you can see it just his hand, yeah. Yeah, Keith, lots of changes since 2011, obviously. Patrol Zone, brand new aspect from there. Game is still asynchronous, so no instance. It's pretty good. We worked really hard on this. Kickstarter did pretty well, about 350,000. Lots of backers. When the game gets released, hopefully next FSX is going to be much bigger. We have 16 people playing this with today. But I mean, I don't see why we can't get 100. Like, come on. That many backers? Like, SF's not that far, folks. But yeah, FSX has been really fun so far. Looking forward to the fighting game tournament later today. I'm actually going to play some games, so that's always exciting. Oh, nice. Thank you. Keith Bergen, Kickstarter backer. Alright, so Battlesuits does come down, and that gives the 3 attack required for the Neoplexus to deal damage to the enough to kill the squad lead. So it was what? Nullcraft plus Fading Argonaut kills the squad lead Bone Collector, then the Neoplexus kills the other one. Stewardess of the Undone comes down, pops the skeleton with the ability. Stewardess is like such a powerful tech one. Yeah, and her body seems kind of weak until you consider Battlesuits. Then she's totally good. Like just 3/3 for 3, and if they play any like big starting deck card like a Blood Rage Ogre or a Fox Primus or something, anything that costs a lot, that bounce is extremely heavy. But luckily for Alhazard, he hasn't played like Jandra the Negator or anything. No big cards to bounce, so it just bounces a skeleton, whatever. Not a huge deal. Not a card, just a gold. Many cards in hand for Alhazard. Dangerous for black to have cards, because that's when they start to do really dirty tricks. So yeah, level 1 Garth in play for Alhazard. Levying his options 7 gold. No Heroes Hall, no Tech 2, so Garth is in. Okay. Locks in his tech options. Red pants on stream. All right. Newsflash, folks. A Codex has won a round, defying all odds. Skeleton Rushdown worked. Yeah, two Skeletal Lords in play with a Skeleton Army against Sotek's Balanced Blood Presence. It's a full shenanigans deck. Oh, my phone's alive. We did it. Oh, apparently Sotek didn't build a tower because he was afraid of skeletal archery. But if he was watching the stream, he would know that I talked about that specific interaction on the last battle. So, but he was too busy playing Codex. Yeah, Skeletal Lord would have kept him alive. Yeah. All right, so he throws Garth in, throws him to the wolves there. The Stewardessly Undone 3/3 attacks him. Nullcraft finishes it off. So hero gains 2 levels. Veer moves to 3, getting closer to that mid-band ability of being able to play the top card of his deck, which he has none. So actually doesn't work. He's paying 0 to look at it. Maybe they're like a. That's good. There's no like card in this game like a Flame Waker. It's like whenever you use an ability, you deal 2 damage or something. $20 minutes left in the round, guys. All right, so regular Ogrenaut coming into play. So we saw Fading Argonaut, so let's look at Big Argonaut now. It's a 3/4 for 3 with readiness, so does not exhaust to attack. Can only attack once per turn. Battlesuits is good. So Alhazard has no board, but I think he might be all right with that. He's playing Blood after all. Blood is like so scary to play. Like you have to have guts to play a build that is like, you know what? I don't care if I have no board as long as you don't have a board. Or even if you do have a board, I don't care that I don't. It's because you're just using such hasty, insane things. I expected this. Let's do some math now. Double Crash Barrow. Now, one thing to note about the Overpower is it only works, like, you only get the excess damage if you hit a Patroller. So he can only really overpower 2 damage to something. So he puts it on Veer. So he's not able to do a thing like, I run the Crash Barrow into a Stewardess and then like bounce it into something else. So Skeleton will finish off the Veer there. So no hero in play, right, to gain levels? Ah, Spectral Hound. Spectral Hound, good card. Right, so that's a good actual, yeah. Because when I played that deck, I was using Centaur to block, and I was really gold hungry, and I'm liking that the 3/3 Hound. That is good. And yeah, the only card that he can really use to kill that Hound is like Undo, right? Say that again? Oh, those are both teched, yeah. Okay, so basically just trades into the Hound. Plays a Fading Argonaut. Tech 2 in future? No, that's present. Right, present? Okay, it is future, okay. Garth is back. Mixed worker. So it's like Alhazard just wants to really protect his Tech 2 building while killing his opponents. Graveyard out. Bone Collector out. And sack the week. Okay, so he's doing sack the week before he plays the Bone Collector, right? Yeah, because it's not a sacrifice if you do. It's you sack your weakest unit. If you don't have one, you don't pay the cost really. So that gets rid of Nullcraft. Then drops Bone Collector. And he does block Technician with. And hand size, he's drawing 4. Alright, so actually he's drawing 2 cards. So yeah. But he doesn't have tech anymore, yeah. He's at 10 workers, so. Oh, Alhazard is saying he might lose. If Fry has Hyperions right now, it could be very, very dangerous. She's not present. Yeah, I see, like, my overlay has like a word on there that's like blocking. And like, when I glance at it, it looks like the word present to me. But yeah, your feature. Okay, Fading Rune actually pulls off the Argonaut. Alright guys, 20 minutes remain in the round. Okay, Friming Soul Worker. Still has 10 gold remaining. Tech 3 Future. So, this is the Tech 3 Future units, the Nebula, Flying Resist 3. Your other units are invisible and it has an ability where once per turn you can just destroy a unit for nothing. 7 gold, so you play the 7, you play it for 7, drop it, and you immediately do it. Stewardess comes out but has nothing to bounce. But it needs a 3/3 body though. Then making your other units invisible is really strong for taking out tech buildings. So if you can get that tech 2 down, you can stop the onslaught. But what's scary here though is now that like now Alhazard has 2 things to worry about, the tech 2 and the tech 3. So it's difficult to like usually if there's just tech 2, that's what you just all in on that and you just make sure that they can't build their tech 3 at all. But since he had 1 turn of not pulling off the game plan, his tempo is a bit low and that's why he's worried. So Flak Maniac defeats Nidoking off stream in a green versus red. Then Fry discard 2, draw 4. Yeah. Alright, so Garth is alive, and that's important here. Trades Bone Collector in to get a skeleton. Okay, so Garth moves to sacrifices a skeleton so he can draw a card with that Garth midband. Yeah, graveyard, that's right. So unfortunately the Crash Pharaohs are either in his hand or in the deck, and they're not retrievable. Unless you would tech them, you know? You'd have to tech them this turn, but they're already in there. They're both in. So Garth can't use his max man to grab anything, actually. Cast Deteriorate. making it a 1/2 with 2 damage on it. So then it does that. Three Steward is still alive. Now they're at least. Yeah, he builds a skeleton, discards it to draw a card. Yeah, you can draw as many times as you want. You summoned a skeleton with Bone Collector attack. So now you can pay 1. You already did that? Okay. So you've drawn 2. Okay. Sack the weak to kill the Stewardess. Frag gains a gold. That's scav slot. So Garth doing work. Swings a tech 3 for 2. And then yeah, get the card advantage. Play graveyard. And you gotta pay the cost of the Bone Collector, so you pay 2. Goes to resist slot, trying to prevent undos and print max bans and other things. So I believe you'll be discarding 2 to draw 4. Deciding if he wants to make a worker or not. So Quince comes out and summons an illusion. He comes with one, baked in. There's an empty board though. That's in Hero Gallery, that's right. Comes out with a blue mirror. The scary thing here is letting that mirror live. Yeah, surplus draw. So Fry has an empty board with the battle suits. Truth tech or future tech 3. Okay, Alhazard is threatening many barrows next turn with the graveyard in play. Mirror illusion. That midband is you pay 2, one of your mirror illusions becomes a copy of another unit. It's still an illusion. You can use your opponent's units too, but the key is getting if he can get a Crash Barrow on the board, he can make that mirror into a Crash Barrow and start to really heavily pressure the base. Alright, brings up Prin. Okay, so fading 4 on Prin when she attacks to get a time rune. He's going to cast Temple Research, a starting deck card. And you draw a card, but you draw another card if you have 3 or more time runes. So when you cast Prin, you automatically have enough. And if you are doing some crazy future build where you have tons of time runes, it's typically easier to get the forecast runes. Okay. So LK404 off stream defeats Ball in a white versus red battle. What'd you do, Ninja? What'd you do? Tech 1, Heroes Hall, Setsuki, run over your face. Okay, so then Rook with a +1, penetrates patrol zone, kills Tech 2 building, white pressure versus red. Good stuff. Yeah, LK404, the mono white player. So 10 minutes left in the round, so we call time. Oh, Hive out. Stinger's in play. So yeah, Hive has arrived. So the 5/1/1 purple stinger tokens of flying, you can resummon them with 1 for 1 gold. They threaten killing tech buildings very, very effectively. But they're not blocking anything though, because they're flyers. So that entire patrol zone is empty. Xenostalker is maybe the best blocker that Future has. It's good. It wants to untap to do things though, because it's unstoppable and it deals damage to patrollers when it attacks. So it actually goes to like the back line and then hits patrollers with a Shuriken Hail. Very good offensive attacking card. Future is very attack heavy. Very dangerous in that respect. Okay, going back to Hive though, notice that Hive itself doesn't attack. Alright, so I think Patrol Zone's locked in now. Let's see. Yeah, he can attack the Xenostalker. It's the first available target. Yeah. Yeah, if there was a flying squad lead, that would be taunted by the flyers, so. Crash Barrel out. Here comes the combos. So he attacks with it, it dies. Okay, so Quince is going to attack the Scavenger, Veer, or Prin, yeah. Yeah, Quince takes damage. So pay 1 gold to max out Garth. That brings the Crash Barrel back into play. It would have went to graveyard first. Yeah, we'll go to graveyard first. So when he maxes, he grabs the thing from the discard pile. And he gets the Spectral Hound out. So yeah, Crash Barrow hits base for 6. Another Crash Barrow hits base for 6. But not a mirror, right? And then Bone Collector 3, Garth 3. And all that is enough. How much is like exacts or 1 overkill on that? So yeah, that's the power of the Crash Barrow overrun there. Just going just hard face. And the low amount of blockers in the future Tech 3 or Tech 2. This whole thing off though. Like just the Stingers being able to swing at the Tech 2 building just makes Alhazard play with Spectral Hound and Bone Collector for the rest of the game. Yeah, that was pretty volatile. Like that's like the last turn that Alhazard maybe had a chance to do this. So Hazard was scared. He said earlier, he's like, I think I'm gonna lose. He thought he was gonna lose. When he went down to 0 cards, he probably thought he was done. Yeah, and the steward is clear, yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. We're gonna take a break after this round for food and be back around 2, maybe a little bit after. Yeah, good stuff. See you guys in just a little bit. We will be back.